Today's topic is decision anxiety, how to know what decisions to make.
This can be a paralyzing topic, right? I mean,
And it has been for me.
I thought you were saying, stop, I want to say something.
No, I was just acknowledging
yeah,
the
yeah.
fact decision anxiety
Mhm.
is not just for newbies.
Yeah. It's more common than one might think. And I
Mhm.
think that addressing it in the way we're going to address it today, you probably not heard it before. So we've got three main points to make. And the third one is going to be an actual tool you can use that you've probably not heard before unless you've heard it from us before.
Right.
So I've not heard anyone else share that information. So first of all, and this is the main point I think to start with, is whatever decisions you're struggling with, whatever decisions you're not sure, don't know whether to do this or to do that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which option you choose. And I know that sounds
Yeah,
controversial.
I'm thinking that we probably need to break that one down because
to
we've
expand
spent
on it a little bit.
we've spent a lot of time in our lives. We've been encouraged by culture, school, etc., to make sure that you make the right decision.
Right. So the reason it doesn't matter which decision you make, which option you choose, is because our experiences happen only inside of us. Unless something outside of us is actually physically touching us, everything happens inside of us. Now, it happens in response to what's happening outside of us, definitely, but it is our own brain and body that is responding. So in other words, we experience something, we see something, the brain registers something and then produces chemicals that cause inner experience, our feelings, our thoughts, our perception of the thing, all of that. So it means that, let's say you've got a decision to make whether to stay in your current job that you're not happy in, or to leave that job and get another job, or do your own business full time. So let's take that one. So I'm in a job and I feel unappreciated by boss. And it's a stressful job. I don't enjoy it very much, but I love my side business and I want to do that full time. And now I'm not sure whether to stay in this job or leave and do the business full time. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't matter whether I stay in that job or I start my own business because I take myself with me. Bear with me on this. Let's say I'm in the job and the boss is doing whatever they're doing, or they're not doing what they should be doing, and I'm feeling unappreciated. What's actually happening physiologically, my brain is registering either what the boss is saying or what they're not saying, the fact that they're ignoring me and promoting other people, or they're being mean to me, whatever that is. As my brain is registering that, it's referring to my self-image, my own self-image, and then triggering chemicals. And those chemicals make me feel unappreciated. Now, if, let's say, I stay in the job, I continue to experience that, I leave the job and I start my own business, my brain is going to still keep me in alignment with that, because it may not be that I have a boss who doesn't appreciate me, but my brain is going to find someone or something else that is going to create that same feeling of unappreciation. It could be a client, it could be a colleague, it could be a marketing person, it could be anything. But because the brain is referring to the same self-image, it's producing the same reaction and it's keeping you in alignment with whatever's back there. So in order to be able to experience something different, you'd need to change that self-image, and we'll go into that in a little bit. Then if you change your self-image to match what you want to experience, in other words, so that you do feel appreciated, then you stay in the job, you feel appreciated by your boss, regardless of what they're doing, because your brain doesn't have a reference for not being unappreciated, or you start your own business, you feel appreciated, you still create that. So you take you with you. So the reason for making this point is to take the pressure off. You can't make the wrong decision. And we're going to come to the rest of there is more, but the first most important thing is giving yourself permission to recognize that it doesn't matter which decision you make, you get to change your experience inside you. And then you can make that decision based on strategy and fact rather than on fear or other negative emotions.
And I think that was all really well put. I think you put that, I think you put that really well. And I think it's also important for us to say that changing that self-image is something that we go into in greater depth in a masterclass we do have a link for that. If you'd like to explore that a little bit more, how do I change that me that goes with me?
Yes.
That's the key work that needs to be done.
Yes.
And we go into that in greater depth.
Now, in addition to that idea that it doesn't matter which option you choose because your experience happens inside you, when you're feeling any kind of stress, any kind of negative emotion, the stress chemicals in your system also cause the blood to drain from the prefrontal cortex of your brain, where we do our cognitive thinking, to the back of the brain. So it means that you can't think strategically.
Absolutely. I know that from personal experience, that when you are in that place of feeling not appreciated or whatever, you're feeling that negative emotion kicking in. That's what old part of our brain is focusing on. It's focusing on the danger. I'm not appreciated, or whatever other negative feeling that is there that you're focusing on. That's what your brain is putting the focus on, and it's creating those negative neurochemicals, which is impairing the prefrontal cortex of the brain, and we don't have the ability or clarity, or it's at least impaired, so that we're not able to make the best decisions, to be able to see things clearly.
Yeah. And so before we go on to the technique, the tool we want to share with you today for knowing how to know which decision to make, we wanted to make about the prefrontal cortex and having your cognitive thinking online so you can think strategically about which decision to make. The key is that while stress chemicals cause blood to drain from that part of your brain, which means you don't have access to your cognitive thinking, your ability to strategize and problem solve and be creative, feel-good chemicals bring blood back to that part of the brain. So it's very important to do what you can to get into a state of feeling good, so that you're bringing down the stress chemicals, creating feel-good chemicals, which then brings that part of your brain back online, and then you can think strategically. So now I want to move on to the technique, the tool we want to share with you today for knowing which decision to make. And this, I have to give credit to my sister. This was originally her little technique that she shared with me, and I found it so helpful. Pretend that your decisions are hats. Going back to that example of, should I stay in this job or should I leave and start my own business? Pretend that staying in the job is one hat and leaving to start your own business is a different hat. You're going to wear each hat, okay, for a period of time. So what that means is pretend that you've chosen one option. So pretend you've decided you're going to stay in the job. So you're going to wear that decision for a period of time. Now, depending on when you need to actually make that decision will determine how long you wear it for. It could be a day, could be an hour, could be a week, doesn't matter. But you're going to pretend just for yourself, and you're not going to take any action on it. You're just going to pretend that you're going to stay, and you're going to go about your day feeling as if you're staying, and notice how that feels. And then after that period of time, take that hat off, put on the other hat. So now you're going to pretend that you've made the decision to leave. So you're going to go about your day feeling like, I decided to leave, and notice how that feels. By the time you've worn each one for a period of time, you'll know which one you want to go with. Now, the caveat is that you've done the other two pieces of this as well. So, recognizing, reminding yourself, doesn't actually matter which option I choose, because I have the power in me. I experience it in me. And that helps to take the pressure off, so you're not feeling like I've got to make the right decision. And the second piece is, of course, changing your self-image, that is creating your experience in the first place, so that you are able to experience what you want to experience. And then do the wearing of each decision. And then you'll know which one is right for you, or which one you want. And make that decision strategically. And whichever one you go with, you will get to experience what you want to experience, regardless of the outside.
The thing that I wanted to add to this is that I know that when you kind of introduced this particular exercise, I know that I had a long history of thinking that I was doing something the same way. And I think that a lot of us are taught, it's like, come up with the pros and cons. If I was feeling uncertain about a decision, I would lay out the pros and cons and really think about those pros and cons. That is a different part of the brain.
Right.
That's the conscious mind trying to work it out.
That's right.
And this particular method is engaging what it feels like inside in that different parts of the brain.
This wearing each decision is using the unconscious part of the brain that is reacting automatically to things. Thank you for mentioning that as well. Yes, so pros and cons, different thing. That's logic, that's reason. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, do that as well. But this wearing the decision involves pretending for yourself that you have actually made it, because the unconscious part of the brain can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. Just like when you watch a movie, you feel the feelings because the unconscious part of your brain is triggering those chemicals because it believes it's real. So when you pretend you've made a particular decision, even though you're not actually taking any action and intellectually haven't made that decision, the unconscious part of your brain will believe you've made that decision, and it will start producing matching chemicals. It will start producing the chemicals that will make you feel, and you may find you feel excited or you feel frightened, and that's how you tell. It's using the unconscious part of the brain instead of the conscious part of the brain. Thank you for.
I think going back to the hats, in my case, because I'm not thinking hats, but I've thought about wardrobe. If I was going to go out and buy a pair of pants or something, I might have, look at a couple of different pairs of pants and just have logically, oh, you know what, I want that brand or I want that cut and that kind of thing. And one of the difficulties for me of buying something online is because I can't necessarily wear it. And it's when you actually wear it and you get a sense of how it's feeling. The importance of that is that we can do the logical bit, we can think it through, but it's the feelings that are really guiding us here, helping us.
Absolutely.
And also understanding that the feelings that we're holding are coming from past references, our self-image, and that kind of thing. And that's the information that we also are talking about needing to change, or that will also have an impact on what's going on. And again, hopping on the masterclass and diving into that a little bit more.
All right. Is that it for today?
I believe
we will see you again tomorrow. Okay. Lots of love to all of you.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.